I could not have asked for a better Creator Series race to come back to.
Come on! Come on!
Because this race literally had everything from crazy wheel-to-wheel action to diabolical dive bombs, including emotional highs and lows.
Fuck me, dude.
This video is going to be a hell of a roller coaster ride from beginning to end. This is the story of how I won my first Creator Series race. When Saturday rolled around, things did not look too great. I could not, for the life of me, put a lap together around Singapore.
Nah, fuck this.
With little to no prep, this was not gonna be easy. Now, it's been quite a few seasons since I've raced in the Creator Series, and a lot of things have changed. Among other things, lots of drivers have suddenly gained a lot of pace.
Yo, I'm gonna give Tuki a hell of a slipstream. Gonna give him a hell of a toe, and then he's gonna remember that. He's gonna pay the favor back in the race. Some might call this manipulation. Wise men will call this making friends. Fuck, I messed up my toe. I tried, bro.
But one lap pace is not everything. Even though Singapore is not battery limited, you have so many braking zones, so many places where you lift and regenerate battery, you can pretty much always deploy. The problem is, everybody can just blast their battery on every single straight. This means having a good starting position is still going to be very, very helpful. And if you're wondering why I'm only doing 2 runs on the softs, this is a classic Creator Series strategy, but also because of a brand new rule this season. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more when it comes to strategy later on in the race.
Here we go, boys.
But for now, I have one single goal. Put in the fastest 1 lap time on the timing sheets. And surprisingly, this track is really fun to drive on this game because all you need to do is boost, boost, and boost everywhere. There's no qualifying strategy. All you need to do is go fast. And things are looking great right now. I put in a purple Sector 1, but as I'm about to enter Sector 2, a little slide on the exit, and Pirsha, like a deer in headlights, he completely seizes up on the racing line.
You! Pirsha, you!
Je peux le faire. Putain de merde, j'ai gêné quelqu'un. Oh merde, j'ai gêné Kai. Nice toe in secteur 2. Sorry Kai, je suis désolé, je t'ai vu au dernier moment.
Bro just fucked me!
And despite all that, I'm gonna come across the line and put up a lap that is good enough for P2.
He completely fucked me!
And that was a strong lap time, despite the impede in the second sector. But all that matters now is this last lap.
I'm sending it, boys.
And as long as I can start on the front row, we have a good chance for the race today. But things don't always go to plan. I do a good cut over the inside curb, narrowly avoid invalidation, but into turn 3, lose the rear a little bit, and that's gonna cost us a full 10th coming out of that corner. This is not good news. I've already been dropped down to P3, and again, a bad exit as I hit the wall with my rear left going onto this DRS straight. 2 tenths down as we near the end of the first sector, and things are about to go from bad to worse. Heavy braking, flick the car in, bad cut over the inside curb, somehow do not invalidate, but look at the delta. 4 tenths down as we head into this corner where we got impeded, but we gain all of that time back. A little slide, over pushing the car, losing a 10th on exit.
It's over!
Unless it's not. Fear a man who has absolutely nothing to lose. Through the old Singapore sling, gaining a little bit on exit. Be brave, keep the battery in medium, which causes the rears to be very, very lively, down to first gear for added rotation. Full 10th coming out of the slow hairpin. Heavy braking zone now, only a few corners left. Can I do anything to salvage this lap? Another good exit onto this long straight, and we're gonna keep gaining thanks to that bombastic exit. Nearly 3 tenths up, going into the final 2 corners of the track. Late braking, be brave over the inside curb. Again, brave with the throttle. Overtake as soon as you can. There's only 1 final corner to go. Let's not invalidate over the inside curb, and we managed to keep it valid.
I bottle pull. Oh my god, I bottle pull so hard. What a bottle of the century. Fuck. Is Lolly gonna improve?
And as the checkered flag fell, only Loli has yet to cross the line, but even he
I don't think he will.
does not manage to improve.
P2! I'll take it. Karim on the...
And this is where things get interesting with the strategy. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a new rule has been introduced with Season 13 of Creator Series. But in a dry race, you have to use each and every dry compound at least once. So one set of softs, one set of the mediums, and one set of the hards must go onto your car lest you want to be disqualified from the race. And the reason why I'm starting on the softs today is to get rid of this set of tires as soon as possible because they're prone to overheating. Leaving the soft stint to the end will leave you very, very vulnerable in case a late safety car comes out because the softs are quick, but they will overheat very, very quickly and they are not a consistent race tire. However, the moment the lights come on, what do I see? Karim on the mediums. Our softs are going to be so much quicker on this opening lap, and we have to take advantage of them now. And right off the line, he's going to come to the left and squeeze me against this inside curve. I'm going to leave plenty of space on the outside, but these softs just have so much more grip, and he has to concede for now. And that's going to be the least of his worries, because now Lolly wants a piece of that ass too. Sorry, a piece of the pie. As Lolly got past Karim, this is when I realized my race pace might not actually be as solid as I thought. And Lolly is actually very, very quick. And despite the fact that you don't really have to lift and coast all that much on this track, slipstream is a huge factor. And he's gonna go down the inside. I don't really fight it because there's not that much point right now. What I want is to work with Lolly and to extend this first soft stint as much as possible and try to not burn out these rears if I can help it.
Softs are starting to overheat a little bit. Feel like Lolly Nova is also feeling it. Guys, we got 3 Italians in the top 4 right now, just saying.
Now we're starting to gap the guys behind, but our softs are about to drop off an enormous cliff. I'm close enough for a move on Lolly. He's gonna go defensive, and I'm gonna go around the outside, braking late, but I simply get pushed off track. And now this leaves me in a very, very vulnerable position versus Karim. He has a look around the outside, but he decides to back out at the last possible second. Those mediums, let me tell you, at this point are much faster than our softs. But ideally, I want to be in the first position when he starts making moves so that ideally I stay in P2, because if we drop to P3, then it becomes incredibly difficult to make moves on the guy in front of you. As Karim goes for brutal send down the inside, I see him coming, leave him the room, and again, I just don't have the rubber left to fight this. So I'm gonna let it go, settle for P3 for now.
CS all about pushes to passes. Just pushing everywhere, man. Yeah, the mediums have dropped off. The mediums are better now in terms of performance.
And it didn't take long for Karim to start gapping us on the mediums. Like I said earlier, the softs are really good in the opening laps, but they will quickly overheat since they are the C5 compound of tires. Very soft, very fast, but not very durable. And those mediums are only going to get faster and faster relative to our softs. And this is where I'm going to try something completely crazy. Going in for the set of hards right now on lap 8 with still more than 50 laps to go. I wanted this track position and I wanted it bad.
Huh? Oh my god! Inhuman reaction! Okay, where am I gonna come out, guys?
This next outlap better be good and it better be fast because it's going to be critical to how the rest of this race is going to unfold. But as my luck would have it, going into the final sector of the race, Tom 97 goes into the wall.
Tom 97? No way, man. Come on, Tommy boy. What the hell?
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty.
And this has just thrown a huge wrench in our plans. My plan was to use this outlap to undercut both leaders and end up in the net lead of the race. But with this safety car, I have no idea anymore where the hell I'm going to come out relative to these other guys. And there's a lot of cars in front of me now. I just hope that the damage is minimal.
So I just got fucked, right? I got royally fucked. Yeah, this is why undercut never works in Creator Series.
Still, I'm gonna try to make the most out of the situation here. Really playing it close to the vest with the delta. Because on the pit exit, I'm going to manage to inch ahead just ahead of P5, Sky Z.
Oh, P4. Woo!
So in the end, the undercut didn't really work, but we still managed to minimize the damage. Only one position loss from all that kerfuffle.
Esports technique. There we go, Sky Z. Why are people so far away? Are they getting like the tire rule out of the way or what? What's going on right now?
And 5 laps later, yes, you heard that right. 5 laps later, it was finally time for the safety car to come in. But now we're in a little bit of a dicey situation. We're no longer the one holding all the cards. Being in P4 makes overtaking so much more difficult.
From one Italian to another, you gotta catch Lolly, okay? Stay with Lolly. I think it's gonna be tough to stay with them. They're gonna be on the mediums.
These next 10 to 20 laps might just make or break our race here, because Lolly is on the mediums and Karim is on the softs, and those tires, if you remember, are going to be so much faster in these few opening laps. We just went from being the hunter to being the hunted, and with every passing corner, the guys on the mediums and the softs are just steadily pulling away, and not even half a lap later, they seem to be already outside of the 1 second window to Ricky. These hards, though they're durable, are just not very quick right now.
Okay. Top 2 are going to escape for now.
But this got me thinking. If the top 2 can pull away, this means Ricky will not get slipstream from the leaders. This means if I play my cards right, there is a short window in which I can actually overtake Ricky.
Ricky goes
before
deep.
our hard compound of tires become faster relative to the mediums and the softs. That's when we're going to be able to move up to P3 and then plan our move for the win. Just a couple of laps later, I noticed something about Ricky's. He seems to be struggling quite a bit in this final sector, particularly the chicane and this final corner where he always gets a bad exit onto the main straight. This allows me to get considerably closer to the back of the Ferrari, and if I can manage to stay close enough through the first sector, I might just be able to plan my move on the next DRS straight. And in case you didn't know, dirty air is not as prevalent this year, and with these new regulation cars, this is why we can follow this close, and I can actually get a brilliant exit. 2.5 tenths is the gap as we head onto this mini straight. I'm gonna go around the outside, which is gonna turn into the inside for the next corner. He doesn't fight it because he knows it's kind of futile, because we need to work together here to catch those guys in front as they go side by side. Brutal place to get side by side in, by the way, because you lose so much time when you don't take the ideal racing line. But this is where something unexpected happens. Karim disconnects from the session, and his car is now driven by an AI. Now, we've seen instances in the past where somebody has a red cross next to their name, but they're still driving in the session. So the last thing I want is to flick into his side pods without knowing for sure. But seeing how slow he's going right now, I would assume it's an AI. So we're gonna go for the move on the straight, and it's crucial that we do, because Lolly is gonna be steadily pulling away otherwise, with no resistance from anybody whatsoever. And he actually has great straight line speed here. The bot going defensive, gonna go down the inside, and he's moving all over the place. I nearly get wing damage from that in the process, and he's still hitting me into the braking zone. It's as if I'm not there.
What the fuck? Yeah, this bot is crazy.
Now the coast is clear. I move up to P2, and all I need to do now is catch Lolly and then overtake him once my hards get faster. But that's actually going to prove to be a lot harder than I initially thought.
Oh, I keep going deep.
Because this is a 100% race, mediums do not wear as fast as they usually would in a 50% race. This means the crossover is going to come much later between the mediums and the hards. For now, I've managed to keep Ricky at bay, but he's a lot closer now, and it feels like out of every corner, he's gaining a tenth. My pace is fading, and it's fading fast. I think I might have been overdriving the car a little bit in an attempt to keep up with Lolly, and now I might just pay the price as I get my first track limit warning of the day. I'm in full damage control now. The goal is no longer to catch Lolly, but to hold on to P2 however way we can.
Come on, Lolly. I need your mediums to drop off.
But how long can I keep this up? It is lap 25 now. We're nearly halfway through this race, and Ricky is right on the back of my gearbox, and he's looking faster than ever, and he's looking hungry.
Holy shit.
And he's gaining all the time on the straight in the slipstream, and I don't even go defensive. I don't expect him to send it from this far back, but I get really out of shape on corner exit, and he's gonna go down the inside here, nearly pushing me into the wall, making contact with my front wing. Luckily, I did not get damaged there.
Welcome back to Creator Series.
And now the tables are turned. Ricky is the one under pressure to go catch Lolly, because if he doesn't, we're gonna have slipstream on the next straight, and it's so much easier to follow because you get slipstream everywhere and you don't get dirty air whatsoever. The problem is Ricky is not catching up to Lolly either. So now we're in an awkward situation because player 4 has entered the game. Carl has caught up to our little train.
Come on, Ricky. If you're gonna lead, you gotta have good pace, man.
It's now a 3-horse race, and this makes things a lot more complicated than it needs to be, as my hards are just simply fading. Because if Ricky's going too slow or I'm going too slow, then we're at the risk of getting overtaken by Carl as well, who has proven to be a very fast and talented driver. And I'm not sure I can hold him at bay. But going into this heavy braking zone, I lock both of my fronts and just barely managed to avoid the wall.
Fuck me, dude.
And just like that, we have dropped down another position. From a nearly pole sitter down to P4 in the race, things are not going well right now. It's going to get increasingly difficult to make moves from now because Carl is going to get slipstream from Ricky, and if he manages to overtake Ricky, then Ricky is going to have slipstream from Carl, and that makes my job overtaking him very, very difficult. For now, I can only watch and maybe wait for something to happen. There's bound to be fireworks as Carl goes for the inside and then the outside. But Ricky is going to shove Carl completely off track here. I'm going to try my chance around the outside, which turns into the inside. But Carl gets hit, and I don't want to get collected and get wing damage in the process. So I brake and back out of there for now.
Oh, this is the Creator Series we know and love.
And again, on the next lap, Carl is going to go for a move again into the same corner, down the inside this time, but Ricky's going to have the inside for the next corner, and he can very well decide to shut the door on Carl here, and Carl decides to back out, getting squeezed into the wall, taking it cautiously. Very well played by him, but I don't think Ricky's going to be able to hold on for much longer. Things are really not looking good. It feels like I'm overdriving the car way too much. And we're gonna have any chance of winning this race, we're gonna have to adjust our strategy going into the second half of this race, as Carl gets another great exit and a good run on Ricky into turn 1. Maybe he's gonna have a look, but he decides against it.
I mean, the tire wear is not too high, but I just feel like I'm so much slower.
And on lap 31,
come on,
Carl is finally going to be close enough to Ricky to go for a move down the inside, taking control of the corner. A little argy-bargy, but he gets the move done. But now, this is exactly what I talked about. I'm now sitting in P4. Ricky has slipstream. I don't think he's going to have the same pace as Carl, so he's probably going to just sit there. But him having slipstream makes it so much more difficult for me to overtake him. But I'm going to bide my time here and take it chill for a couple of laps and wait for my tires to cool off, because I've been overdriving for the greater part of the stint. So I'm gonna regroup, give some time to my rear tires to cool down, and then see what we can do from there. But again, going into this heavy braking zone, I completely miss my braking, nearly run into the back of Ricky and lose a heap of time to both cars in front. But just barely, I narrowly missed the wall. But as it turns out, my pace in clean air was actually not as bad as I thought. And this kind of gave me a little bit of hope. Just then, Ricky actually manages to move past Carl and move back into P2. But if you look at the track map, Lolly is so far up the road, it's not even funny. But it's not all bad, because we're still sort of in the lead train, in this pseudo lead train. And Lolly has done the soft to the mediums. This means he has the hard compound tires left for him to use, and he has no choice but to use them.
Yo, has Lolly boxed yet? What tires has he got left?
Because the laps are flying by, and if the mediums are really this much faster than the hards, this means
he's gonna be fucked.
Because the only tires he can go onto now are the hards. And all it takes is one safety car to change everything. Or one unsafety car, should I say.
Okay, the safety car is out. Safety car.
Now, like I said earlier, this is very bad news for Lolly, but good news for us, as he is now on the much slower compound of hard tires versus 3 guys on fresh mediums, and he's gonna go very early on his restart on lap 43 going into lap 44. And I have to be patient here, because remember what happened when we pushed too hard on the hards in the previous stint, because if I don't want my tires to fade like they did in the previous stint, then I'm gonna have to manage them, because if they overheat, Tom 97 behind is going to eat us alive. And all I'm waiting for is fireworks from the 3 guys in front. I'm taking a chill a little bit further back in case there's a pileup, but also, like I mentioned, I want to nurse these mediums because I don't know how long we're gonna have to stay on them for. There's still more than 16 laps left to this race, and we're gonna have to protect these rears if we want a chance in the last few laps of the race. But going into the second sector, Ricky is gonna go for it. Now he goes around the outside, but Lolly still has control of the corner, and he's gonna squeeze Ricky against the wall. The Italian Civil War is in full swing, and I'm just waiting for the right opportunity to pounce.
Ricky, why don't you send it like earlier? I need Ricky to send it.
But the thing is, we're kind of on a ticking time bomb here. We need to get this move done ASAP, because those hards, every single lap that goes by is only going to get faster relative to our mediums. If we wait too long, we might never get the chance to overtake Lolly ever again.
Come on, Ricky. Longer you wait, the better the hards are gonna get.
And the longer this goes on, the harder the mediums are going to get. And there's only so much you can do to keep the temperature in check. But on lap 46, another safety car comes out. Lolly thinks of boxing, but he decides against it. Smart man, because losing track position now,
Another safety car.
with only a handful of laps left, would be shooting yourself in the foot.
This is actually good for the mediums, but bad for the hards. I don't know, I just feel like I don't have any pace on this track. Now, all of a sudden, Ricky doesn't want to make moves. What the fuck? They are besties. Yeah, go figure.
What this safety car has allowed us to do is to cool our rears. A very, very crucial moment for all the medium runners. And this is going to give us a fighting chance against Lolly again. And you can just see how difficult it is to overtake if you're not in P2 or P1. If you're in P3 and the guy in front of you has slipstream, there's virtually nothing you can do, because you have the same top speed as the guy in front. With how these new regulation cars work, as you near the car's top speed, the engine just derails. And even if you boost, you don't gain more top speed. And just a couple of laps later, Ricky is as close as he's ever been to the back of Lolly. Surely this is the one where he goes for it.
Jesus.
And like I said, we're on a timer here. The longer we wait, the more difficult this is going to be. But Ricky goes down the inside, which turns into the outside again for the next corner. He pushes Lolly off track.
Oh, he's gonna send it.
And Lolly's not going to let this one go so easily. Goes down the inside again. They hit each other. For a brief moment, there were 3 wide here. And now the floodgates are open. Lolly is vulnerable. He used all of his battery to defend against Ricky, and this is my chance. I have to go for it now. If he recharges his battery or we wait too long to make this overtake, we're not going to get past at all. It has to be now or never. I have to overtake now, and it has to be bold. I'd go for a brutal send down the inside. Fair play to Lolly for leaving the room, and now it's traction battle towards the next braking zone, and somehow I'm on lower wings, more top speed, and I managed to clear him going into the next braking zone. And now suddenly we're in P3 and the win is back on the table.
That's how it's done. All right, what do we do with these two? Just wait for it. Lolly just got fucked by the strategy. That's what happened to him.
And with these two fighting up ahead, it's only a matter of time before they clash. And my pace is actually proving to be quite good.
You're gonna go for it? Come on, Carl.
Every time they go side by side is a potential opportunity for me to end up in the lead. Again, Carl has a little look down the inside, but Ricky shuts the door. This means I'm way closer than before. I'm gonna have a little look down the inside, have it stop just in time. Carl sees it coming and leaves the room. Beautiful racing. And I want to keep applying pressure. Let him know that if he doesn't overtake Ricky, I'm gonna send it.
Got it stopped, just about.
But it's a lot easier said than done, because Carl is a very, very consistent and fast driver.
Oh!
And again on the main straight, on lap 54, they come together. Elbows are fully out. Carl slightly nudges Ricky off track there into turn 1 and takes the lead of the race. But now we're closer than ever before. A tenth and a half behind Ricky's car. I'm gonna have a great exit here. 2/10 is the gap. I'm gonna turn on overtake. Remember that he had to use a lot of his battery to defend onto the main straight against Carl. I'm gonna have a look down the inside, but again, Ricky just closes the door and I nearly lose the back end of the car. And that's another unsuccessful attempt. We're gonna have to wait a little longer. But I also know that if these rear tires go above 105 degrees, they're gonna start to overheat and we're gonna lose a lot of performance. So I have to watch out for that as well. And luckily, on lap 55, a safety car comes out, and right away I'm looking through my MFD at the tire wear, at the tire temps.
Another safety car?
What can I do to maximize my chances in these last laps? There's not that many left. Only a couple to go.
Oh, I don't think we boxed, no? Do we?
And just as I was going through the different options in my head, something really strange happens.
They're just pushing flat out every single lap. What? What? What did he just do?
It seems that Lolly, in a brief loss of focus, has run into the back of my car because he was reading chat. And he has been promptly awarded a 10-second penalty.
What did Lolly just do? Did he hit me?
Luckily, nothing to us, but this
Surely
is where
they're not
things get
boxing, right?
even weirder. I understand why Lolly has to go in, but Carl goes in as well.
Really? No, I feel like trap position is so important. They're all going in? Yo, this is the longest race I've ever done. It's been 2.5 hours, man. Okay, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 laps to the end.
And as the safety car is about to come in at the end of lap 57, there's going to be 5 laps of racing left. And everything has lined up in these last 10 laps for us to win the race today. All we need to do is make this one overtake. And as I'm trying to inch ahead, maybe get alongside of Ricky, kind of like Max Verstappen did to Lewis Hamilton in 2021.
I almost lost my front wing, dude.
What are these two doing, bro? Kai, you don't have to drive that close. You don't have to drive that close. You really don't.
Because I want to let Ricky know that I mean business. And I'm not letting this one go so easily. I want to start applying the pressure right away. It's all about the mental aspect of the game as well. Full send for the last 5 laps. This is it. While I'm chasing for my first win, Ricky is doing the same as well. And this ending is about to be explosive. Now we have to do this carefully, but we also have to do this right. Because remember, the mediums are prone to overheating and we can't overdrive this car like we did in the second stint. It feels like Ricky had really good momentum, but now he's struggling to keep it up. He's slowly running out of steam, and with every straight, every corner exit, we're getting closer and closer to the back of that Ferrari. Again, he's going slow through the third sector. 3 laps to go as we cross the start-finish line. We have a comfortable cushion from Tom behind onto lap 60, but Ricky has had a really, really poor exit. It's gonna allow me to tuck into the slipstream and fully get along and move past his car. A little wheel hook into turn 1, which causes me to go wide and pick up my second track limit warning of the day. I don't think it was intentional, maybe just a racing line. And now Ricky's out of shape and Tom is gonna have a look as well. This is good news for me, because he's going to be under the pressure and he has to defend. Having to both attack and defend is not a viable option, as Tom actually manages to get alongside, but into turn 4 again. Contact between the Ferrari and the Mercedes, and Tom just gets shoved off track. But this is great news for me, because them fighting is going to cause them to overheat the rears and me to simply escape into the distance as I narrowly avoid my 3rd track limit warning of the day. I have to be careful now. I cannot bottle this, not when I'm this close to the goal. And all this time, I'm pulling away from Ricky. The gap is now 6 tenths, 7 tenths, 8 tenths as we head onto the back straight, and I'm constantly looking behind to see how close they are, but I have to focus on the task ahead. A little deep into the chicane, but carrying good minimum speed, using all of the track. I'm full pushing now to try to keep him at bay, because like I mentioned earlier, you still need a good pace differential if you want to stay P1 because the slipstream is just so strong here. And honestly, I was so locked in, but I've also never felt this alive. This is what racing is all about. Two guys giving it all on track. As we head on to the final lap of the race, the gap is much closer than before. The slipstream is doing work and Tom has just been sitting behind, not really had an opportunity to go for anything. This is exactly what I talked about earlier. When you are in P3 and the guy in front has slipstream from P1, there's virtually not much you can do unless P2 makes a humongous mistake. We're coming up to the end of Sector 1 now, but Ricky is much closer than before. 3 tenths, 2 tenths. He's not gonna go for it now. I'm safe into this braking zone, but how long can I keep this up? Narrowly avoid invalidation on exit. He has a little look down the inside. I have to leave the door open a little bit, but he does not fully commit. Come on, Kai, you can do this. There's only a dozen of corners to go. All that stands between me and victory is 2 sectors into the Singapore sling. Again, be careful with the track limits. Do not invalidate and do not go deep. The rears are a lot more lively. They are struggling under traction, almost putting it into the wall. But luckily, Ricky goes deep and he's not close enough for any dive bomb whatsoever. But the gap is 4 tenths going onto this last straight, and I can tell you my braking leg was shaking so hard because I did not want to mess up. The nerve might be starting to get to me. Come on! And as we head onto this final back straight, the gap is 2 tenths. I threw a slightly defensive shape, but at the last second I moved back onto the racing line and he does not send it. Good man. What a battle that has been. 1 corner to go. Please do not invalidate. Come on! Come on! Let's go! Oh my god! That's it! We had to do it! Eh? Why am I... Eh? Why am I 4th? Eh? Hello? Why am I 6-7 with Ricky? Eh? It just keeps getting worse! Oh my god! Holy shit! Finally! The mystical win! After this many years! At last! Oh my god. Holy shit, I was so locked in. Yo, my left leg was shaking so much. Bombardilo. You were so fast.
I hate you.
You were so fast, bro.
I hate you so much, bro.
I had to sweat so much just to beat you. GG's.
Kai ruined my first ever win. Fuck you.
We were both fighting for the win. Yo, this was a duel for the centuries. Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary. Shout out to Ricky. God, the last few laps were probably some of the most fun racing I've had in a long time. And GG's. Shout out to the supporters and to all the haters. Better luck next time.